Okay, you're going to receive three parts that you need to install: a connector, a slice, and a base. And these assemble. I'll show you how they go together. These are the three parts that you're going to get. The base has two switches on it, and they rotate with a screwdriver, and they should be set to 0 and C, which is 12 o'clock on this switch and 9 o'clock on this switch. That has to happen before you install it. And in your blender, your PLC will look like this. You're going to have to install these new parts. These are the slots that you have. You may not have all of these, but the slot I'm sending you is going to go between the last slot and the second to last slot. So we've got to get the new slice that I send you into this position in the middle, and this one will move over to the right. So in order to do that, you have to remove this assembly, install the new one, and then put this one back on. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I have these two slices here to simulate the last two that I showed on the drawing that are all the way to the right. So we're going to remove this one. And the first thing you do is remove the connector. You just lift this up, you pull it straight out, and there's a little button at the top. You push, and the connector comes down, and you lift it off. It hooks on with this little clip here onto there, so you know how it goes when you put it back together. So you take that off and put it aside. And you have to take this one off as well. So pull that out, push on the tab, down it comes, and take it off. Now we're going to remove this slice and the base. It's hooked to the DIN rail inside the blender on the back here. So you have to push this up and then grab this assembly, leave this one in place, and slide that forward. And it comes off from the one to the left with these little slots that engage the male pieces on here. It goes back together that way. So keep that assembled and put it to the side. We're going to put it back on. So here's your new base that you set your switches to 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock. We're going to put that on, being careful to line up the two little male keys, which are at the bottom and at the top, with the female slot at the top and the bottom on the adjacent slice. So you just put that together. It's kind of like Legos. Goes together like that, and it's locking, as you can see. I'm going to turn around so you can see it, but it's locking together as I slide it forward. And now it's attached. Okay, so it should look like that completely. There's no gap in between. It's locked together. Then you take the slice that I send you that plugs into this base. Again, it has a keyway at the very bottom that it goes in this male slot here. So you line that up at the bottom and just slide it forward and snap it in. So that's installed. Lock this down so it's attached to the DIN rail now. And then you just reinstall your last slice. This is the one that you took off in the beginning, so it goes on the exact same way. It's fully assembled. The base, the end cover's already on it. The base and the slice are already hooked together because you took it out that way. So again, just line up the two sort of Lego slots here with the one to the left, being sure that they're completely connected, and snap it in. Okay, and that's it. Lock it down too. And the last thing you do is reconnect your connectors and snap them in. This is the new slice here that you just put in, and then the slice connector that was all the way to the right. Okay, so now you've got three slices here. This one was existing, this one was existing, and they're going to have wires on them. So you can still unhook them, and you can still leave the wires in the terminals when you take the connector off. Just be sure you put them back into their respective positions when you hook them back up, because the wires that are hooked to this one are specific to this slot, as is the wires on this connector specific to that slot. And now your proc switches will wire into the terminals on here. These are numbered, and I'll send you a separate drawing showing where each switch goes into each terminal. You basically have 12 terminals here per connector, and I think you've got 6 proc switches, so I'll show you where the wires go. And that's it. That's how it goes together.